everybody, happy Monday morning. Hope you're doing well. Alrighty, let's get started. Thanks so much for joining me on Monday. Every Monday we are going to talk about different mindset topics, and I appreciate everyone that's watching. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about today was something that I experienced on Friday that I had to work through. And so many times in my life, I became frustrated with different parts of my life, whether it's my health, whether it's my finances, or whether it's my family dynamic or something like that. So one of the things I thought we'd talk about is just that frustration, how we deal with frustration, where it comes from, and maybe some tactics on how we can kind of overcome that, because it truly is a mindset that, good morning, Melvin. So there's a lot of things that we can kind of do to overcome that. For me, I just look back on what frustrates me. So specifically, I was frustrated on Friday, and I was just thinking about why am I frustrated? And there's three common themes that tend to happen in my world, and I don't know if this is something that you deal with. So I'd love to if you could put in the comments, maybe some of the things that you're frustrated with. But one of the things is lack of communication. One of the things that could be lack of communication on my part to the other person, or my expectation of what they're doing, and so communication back to me. So I want you guys to think about, that frustration level. Is it because of communication? Hey, Sean, how are you? Good morning. Also, it's the lack of clarity of the goal or the activity. So many times I'm frustrated because I didn't hit a goal. So Friday was actually the example of that. In my business, I set goals for myself, and then of course my clients do as well. And I'm reflecting on January, and we just didn't hit the goal that we had set for ourselves, and I did for myself as a coach. So I was frustrated with that. And it was just the lack of clarity on the activities, right? So what could we have done differently to do that? The third thing is really I need to change the environment or increase my skill level. Those are the three things that I really feel like bring me the most frustration. Communication or the lack thereof, lack of clarity on the goal, and then also that I need to increase my skill or change my environment. So many times I get frustrated, either whether it's been in a meeting or if it's maybe in a family situation, and in my environment I don't speak up. Right? And I think maybe sometimes we get that same frustration level. And my wife always says it's like I'm a volcano. I'm fine, and then I just blow up. And it's because the frustration level, it's bottled up, and it just creates that tension. So one of the things that I would think about, though, is that we've had conversations in the past, the last few weeks, is how does your mindset affect that frustration? And I really think that there's some cool things that are happening, at least in my brain, because when I went through this frustration on Friday, it happened. I'm not a perfect person. I'm definitely human. So I vented, I got frustrated, but I recovered faster. And I think that shows that the mindset is changing for myself. And so what I would recommend, and one thing that I would really ask for you to do is to watch that, is that you're going to get frustrated. There's an opportunity for failure around the corner because you're trying, you're doing something different, you're outside your comfort zone. So, but there's also an opportunity for great things, abundance, hitting the goal and accomplishing that. So you got to take risk either way, right? So one of the thoughts I had, and this is something that kind of streams in my brain a lot, is are you doing the best you can do, or are you doing the best that can be done? And so when I'm frustrated, I kind of go through that phrase, and I'm like, Drew, are you doing the best you can do? Okay, maybe. Are you doing the best that can be done? That is the sticker right there. There is so many more things that I can do that could be the best that can be done. And that's the thing that motivates me. So I just want you to think about that. Another interesting thing is we were doing a little bit of research, and actually it was mentioned in a training class that I was in last week. The average adult uses over 3,000 words to express emotion, and obviously frustration comes from emotion, right? So 3,000 words, we use them every single day. We're frustrated, we're fearful, we're scared, we're happy, we're sad, we're joyful, all these expressions of emotions, right? Well, 2,286 of them are negative words. So 76% of the words we use that express emotion. Oh, my wife's on. Good morning, Kimberly. Express 76% of negativity. So flat out, it's negative energy, right? So no wonder we're negative. No wonder we're frustrated because we use so many negative words. So one of the things that I would definitely say that I'm watching is the words that I use. Because if I know that there's so many negative words that I use constantly and in my emotion throughout the day, why not convert to the lower percentage, really, which is the positive, uplifting words? And there's something to be said about energy. Our body lets off energy, our body attracts energy, and you either can attract negative energy or you can attract positive energy. And I think that frustration comes from almost venting or purging out a lot of the negative energy that we have. So I just want you to think about that. If we are basically 76% of the emotional words that we're using are negative, no wonder we're frustrated, right? So just be conscious of that. One thing I'll definitely tell you is that I have definitely transitioned to using different words consistently. Instead of using but, I use and. Instead of try, intentional, right? So changing the words you use definitely makes less frustration. And also, I was actually posted the other day and somebody said, change the word fascination or frustration to fascination. I thought, that's a great twist of words, because what it is it's changing it from frustration, which is a negative mindset, to fascination, which is a positive, curious mindset. So just changing the words you use makes a big difference. There's three things that I really found that for myself that's really allowing me to make a shift. And I wanted to just take a couple minutes and share those with you and see if you see an alignment with maybe some of the things that you do. One of the things that I really focus on so I'm not as frustrated. Again, I'm human. I'm going to be frustrated. My coach on Friday heard my frustration, right? So I get that I'm frustrated, but how do I recover as fast as I can from that frustration? The first thing is we have to make some choices. Yep, we make the choices, or the choices make us, right? You have to focus on the plan and not the problem. So when I was frustrated with my business goals last Friday, I went back to my plan. Right? I looked at the plan that I've set out for myself and for my team, and I looked at where we made some challenging mistakes or had some opportunity for growth. So rather than focusing on not hitting the goal, I'm going to choose on focusing on the plan going into February. And that's the best way you can kind of approach your frustration. The second thing, of course, is choosing those positive words that we talked about before. And the third is, this one's huge, guys. If you don't hear anything from this message, the only thing I want you to hear is this one, is don't blame others. You know, we point to somebody else, right? We point like this. We got three fingers pointing back, right back to us, right here. See that? We are responsible for that. So if we're not hitting our goals, if we're not hitting our financial numbers, if we're not communicating with our family or our spouse or coworker, it's because we are a part of that. And I think there's so many things that I've learned through the failures in my life and my businesses and some of my relationships. Well, she did this and he did this, and if I would have known that, they would have, right? It's not. It's about, what can I do to not blame others? What can I do to take responsibility for myself? So I would honestly say that's the number one thing that I would take away from really taking frustration and using a mindset around it is don't blame others. So the funny thing is that I was frustrated on Friday, and I posted just a simple question. It says, how do you go from frustration to motivation? And the coolest thing is that because I have such an awesome group of you guys that watch all the time and have a lot of friends and family and coworkers and just mentors in my life on Facebook, they posted a ton of suggestions on how we should work through frustration. So I thought, why not? Let's kind of share them with the whole world. So a few of you said drinking a few beverages. I don't disagree with that, although I think that can't be a long-term solution to frustration. Running or walking or working out, so definitely those endorphins, those negative or positive of energy, using that as a workout. Journaling is huge. I've journaled for now 2 years. It really changes the way your perspective on things. Praying, absolutely. And just being persistent was someone's comment. I think that was really consistent with the fact that when you're frustrated, you're obviously doing something outside your comfort zone. If you're frustrated because you didn't hit a goal for yourself, obviously you're doing something different that you may have never done before. You're outside your comfortable zone, right? You're uncomfortable, and that's where that frustrations come from, right? Obviously, then they had suggested transfer frustration into gratitude. So it is so challenging to be able to point the blame on someone else. But what if you reversed it and said, I'm grateful for this person, or I'm grateful for this challenge, or I'm grateful that I went through this so I could have learned from it. That takes a lot of guts and a lot of humility to kind of go in that gratitude mindset. Also, music. Definitely, I like to jam out in my car. I like to just vent and get through that. So I definitely think that that has something to do with our frustration. Smile more. I agree 100%. I am not naturally a smiler, but I can tell you every time I smile, everyone else feels the energy, right? So there's a lot of cool things that kind of go on in our day, and there's a lot of things that potentially frustrate us. You know, I'm on the way today and there's traffic. It's raining today, so there's tons of traffic. I choose to be frustrated with the traffic, or I choose to live in a situation where I look at it differently, right? So as you go into this week, I want you to think about your mindset around frustration. Obviously, frustration is not going to go away, but it can be lessened. It could be quick to follow and fail forward. So I just want you to think through how you handle frustration, how you see other people handle frustration. So many times I get on the phone and somebody's kind of yelling and griping at me, and instead of me internalizing and saying, man, that guy doesn't like me, maybe he's going through something. Maybe he's frustrated with his family, his finances, something else. So make sure, a lot of people are going through a lot of stuff right now, whether it's a sickness, an illness, financial hardship, a lot of things. So when you're frustrated or you're feeling frustration from someone else, think about the mindset around it. That's kind of that's the goal for this week, right? Let's focus on the mindset around frustration. So like always, I want to end with a mindset quote. Like I said, come join me every Monday for Mindset Monday at 8 a.m. So I hope that you'll continue to join me on this journey of discovering different mindset and shifts into the new year. This is absolutely my favorite quote. In fact, I have it on my email address, or email signature. I love this quote. It really is kind of my anthem. I don't know if you guys have something that kind of just speaks to you. So this is from Winston Churchill, which is also one of my favorite guys, smart guy. Success is the ability to go from failure to failure without losing your enthusiasm. I'm going to say it one more time. Success is the ability to go from failure to failure without losing your enthusiasm. If you're failing, it's because you're failing forward and you're accomplishing and you're learning new things. That's what life is about. That's what businesses are about. That's what families are about. You're not perfect. So when you're frustrated because you failed at something, or maybe you didn't hit your goal, turn that frustration into fascination. Explore why that happened and focus on the plan and not the problem. All right? Well, have a great day, and I hope you will have a great week, and I'll talk to you very soon. Have a good one. Bye, guys.